wake up. Most people think a toxic person is someone who yells, cheats, exploits, makes unreasonable demands, and is just completely self-absorbed. But that's not always how it works. Many toxic people can be calm, quiet, and helpful. That's why it takes us so long to realize what they're doing. We don't recognize it because it doesn't look like red flags. In fact, oftentimes it looks like just the opposite. So here's how we can define a toxic person. Someone who consistently pulls you out of alignment with your values and your identity. Makes you question who you are. Not because they're evil, just because they have a personality that happens to slowly erode your sense of self. And when we're talking about toxic people, unfortunately, intent doesn't matter. It's about the effect the person has on you. So it's nothing like a shouting person coming at you with a knife. It's more like someone putting a slowly increasing amount of poison in your coffee each day. And you keep drinking it because you love coffee, and they're bringing it to you, and they're smiling at you. But every day you feel a little bit weaker, a little bit less like yourself, and you don't know why. I'm Aska, this is Hard Love Theory. This channel is all about the unique challenges men face today. If that resonates, please subscribe. Well, now, thanks. In psychology, we talk about this concept called the Dark Triad. It's a personality type that's pretty rare, and it has high scores in narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. But most of us score somewhat high on just one of these traits. But when someone scores very high in just one of these traits, or moderately high in two of them, that's when we almost always see patterns of emotional harm to other people. So that's what I mean by a toxic person. It's not just an annoying or disagreeable person. It's someone who is so wrapped up in their own agendas, whether they know it or not, that they push others out of alignment with their values and their sense of self. Toxic isn't a clinical term, but that doesn't mean it's unscientific. Because when we look at the most harmful personality patterns, that could be manipulation, lack of empathy, deceit, there's a clear overlap with these traits that are found in certain personality disorders. So in psychology, we talk about cluster B personality type disorders. Here's a few of them that's relevant when we talk about toxic people. Borderline personality disorder, that's often associated with emotional volatility, fear of abandonment, and very intense, unstable relationships. Antisocial personality disorder, that is what we used to call psychopathy or sociopathy. That's associated with deception, disregard for others, and just remorseless manipulation. Histrionic personality disorder, extreme emotional volatility, attention seeking, and theatrical behavior. Let me just be clear. Not everyone with a personality disorder is a toxic person, but many toxic people have traits that mirror these disorders, and it makes it easier for us to spot dangerous patterns. So what toxic people really do is quite unique. They, in a sense, make you betray yourself, your core values, your identity. And that's why it feels so horrible being around them. An example could be you start tiptoeing around certain topics, and maybe you leave information out because you know it'll upset them. They accuse you of concealing things and lying to them. And technically, this might be true, so you start feeling bad. Why did I lie to her? And now we're in this toxic zone where you're accused of being the toxic person, and you start questioning if that could be true. So a little bit down the road, you filter your reactions, you downplay your wins, you ask permission to be yourself, right? You used to laugh out loud, but not so much anymore. You tone everything down. You used to take up more space, but now you're tiptoeing. And some people might look at you and think, oh, he's much more mature now. But you're not. Your personality is absolutely eroding. A few more examples. You tell them something really hurt you, and they say, listen, you're just too sensitive. I'm being honest with you. You bring up a pattern of behavior, they call you paranoid. And the tricky thing is, you are becoming a little paranoid with good reason. So over time, the result is you stop trusting your gut. You start questioning your reality. And this is gaslighting. It makes you change your behavior and question if you're wrong even when you're clearly in the right. And it may not even be intentional on their part. And once you start silencing yourself just to get through the day, then everything has become a struggle. And that's the exact opposite of where you want to be in a relationship, whether it's romantic or just a friendship. It's actually worse because it's not intentional. Because most of us are really good at sensing bad intentions, but we can't sense destructive behavior that don't come with bad intentions, that just comes from a combination of unfortunate personality traits. Now, some people just bring out the worst in each other. That's not what I'm talking about here. Toxic people make you modify your behavior to a degree that you no longer feel like yourself. You're drained, you're questioning yourself, and you're just off balance. And it's not always clear that the toxic person is the source of these negative feelings. In fact, they may try to help you with this problem of yours. But if you don't feel like you can be yourself around them anymore, it almost certainly won't help to talk to them about it. Does this sound familiar? Please, by all means, share your toxic personal story in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers. The bad news? There's a lot I can't say in the videos I post here on YouTube, believe it or not. The good news? I say it all in the videos I upload to the Hard Love Theory group. If that sounds interesting to you, please join us there. It's free, link in the description. I'll see you there.